Chris, let's turn now to your paper on Medicare reform. You say, and this was a 2023 paper that you wrote, and you say that increases in the program's expenditures are largely due to increased spending on new services and billing codes. And you recommend that, quote, to keep Medicare's costs to a sustainable level, it is necessary to slow the addition of new procedures to the program's basic benefit package. It's not just aging baby boomers, I take it.
Well,
And so
that's really the headline finding here is that when people, I think, traditionally talk about the growth of Medicare costs, it's always tied to two things: the increase of prices or the retirement and aging of the population. Um, and what this paper really sets out is that those two things are actually not that big of a problem. The Medicare prices are indexed to grow slower than inflation, let alone the rate of growth of the economy. And the demographic changes, we're actually most of the way through that already. The big reason why Medicare is such a gigantic problem is this third bucket of problem issues, which is cost growth coming from the fact that every new technology that's invented, every new medical procedure, every new drug, every new device, every new form of surgery, um, layers on top of all the other medical procedures that we're already providing for the most part. And that's really in perpetuity. It's not a one-time thing. And it's really something that's not tied to any contribution that's been made in the past. It's an escalation of costs that is really steady and progressive over time. And that really is what accounts for the program's growing burden on the federal budget. And we should actually make that distinction. And it's a fortuitous distinction, actually, because politically, it's much, much harder to take something away from people that they're used to having than it is to slow the expansion of a benefit package or a set of services from what people are accustomed to. So this is actually, in some ways, an easier problem to solve. If only we can just kind of understand it better and understand the nature of this cost growth and focus on addressing it.
there's one sort of uh, budget scoring question that I have about this. When the CBO does their long-term budget outlook, they say that Medicare will grow from about 3.2% of the economy where it is now to about 5.4% over the next 30 years. And basically about a third of that they attribute to growing population aging, and the other two-thirds is excess cost growth. Is that where new services get bundled in? I mean, when you say that we're able to pay for the existing package, but the existing package doesn't look sustainable to me when I look at that cost growth. Are they building in
Yeah.
use of new technologies and services? Is that what the
I mean, it really is use of technology. And the thing is, when you count cost growth, that's cost growth in dollar terms or in real terms. If you actually look at cost growth or the program's projected cost as a percent of GDP, which I have in the report, the program's cost actually goes down as a percent of GDP if you just look at prices and demographic change. So really, in terms of its burden, its cost as a share of GDP, which is really kind of a gauge of its sustainability relative to our revenue streams. We can actually handle the prices and the demographics. That's not the problem. The big problem is the addition of the new services, and that's really the entirety of the problem going forward.